Progressing in our lessons in the category of botany. So we learned about the life cycle of a plant, starting from seed through germination and onto the full growth below the earth and above the earth. That's a different presentation, a different video that I've done. The next one, we're going to talk about leaves and the parts of leaves. This is a really fun lesson. So what you would do is take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the whole thing, seven copies of this. Okay? And because it's like this, it's a booklet, you would have this picture 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. So you would have one where the entire thing is colored and highlighting the different areas of the plant. Then the next one, well, so that's leaf, so you'd only need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of them. So the whole leaf is colored. Then on your next page, you would only color this one part, the petole. And then the next one, you would only color the veins. And the next one, you would only color the margin. The next one, you would color the blade. And then the next one, you would color the apex. And then you would make a little booklet of it. So in the first, on the cover, you could color the whole one, the leaf. So that's like on the cover. And then just staple it together. So, hopefully you get the idea. You make 6 copies. You color the whole leaf. That's called the leaf. And then you do the parts of the leaf, individually highlighting those. So that is how you would teach the parts of the leaf. And once you take those parts and you give that presentation and teach, this is the petole. And you can do the 3-part lesson. So the 3-part lesson would be, if you have not seen my video on the 3-part lesson, then here's my example. And it says pig, but you would just replace it with leaf or petole or veins or margin or blade or apex. So the first period is naming. So if we're doing the first 3 parts, and you would highlight your colored picture of the leaf with the parts, you would say, this is a petole. This is the veins. This is the margin. And then you would say, can you show me the veins? And they would point to the right picture. Can you show me the petole? And they would point to that. Can you show me, the margin? And so on. And then you would, if they do very well, then you would introduce the next 2 and continue on and do the 3-period lesson so that you know that they're understanding and retaining the information. Okay? So you can watch my video on the 3-period lesson. And so then after you teach the parts of the leaf, you're going to grab some type of container, a basket or a tray, anything like that you can take. You might want to cut some leaves, and some leaves are really tough. They don't pull off easy, so take a pair of scissors and take your child for a nature walk or just in your backyard, wherever. But make it really fun. You can say, hey, we're going to go to the park today after this lesson, and we're going to look for all kinds of leaves. And I actually have an example, like it has all kinds of leaves. I got this from some sort of magazine, and it has all kinds of leaves on it. I'm not sure if it continues on. And then, any type of pictures that you can gather that talk about leaves or share about leaves, the white oak, different kinds of oak leaves. You can just have those for this lesson and leave them on the shelf for them to learn. But you can go online. I always suggest a tactile experience something interactive than just the internet, because they get enough of the internet. So my neighbors, they have this big, huge tree, and it drops leaves on my side. And so I have this one, and when you're talking about the parts of the leaf, it's great to have an example with you. You know, I have these examples of ones from my backyard that had fallen, and you can show them where the veins are in the margin and all that. So then you can go on your nature walk, and when you get back, this is what you would have. I'm going to put that up there. You would have a container with lots and lots of leaves. I did my nature walk this morning. My tree had dropped a small little branch of leaves, so I have that. And then it was really fun. I hadn't done it in a long time. I found this cool fluffy thing. It's actually a weed, so I got rid of that from my yard, but for this lesson it's great. The oak leaves, and then I just took this little leaf and put all kinds of leaves on there. And, you know, there's a blade of grass, you know, this leaf, and just look at them and compare them. This one has jaggedy edges, all different colors. You know, I have interior plants. Some are shiny, some have so many colors, some have teeny tiny leaves. So just start talking and teaching vocabulary. This one is different from this one. This one's dark green, this is light green. You know, just interact, talk with them, and go over the leaves. This one's really cool. It's really long. This one's thin. You know, teach vocabulary. Just talk to them with words you would talk to me or another adult. You know, these are super small. They are tiny. You know, and get all excited about it. And, you know, you can talk about the leaves. Were they from a tree or from a bush? You know, here's this one. It was a pine tree. My neighbor's pine tree crosses over onto my property. So we got some pine trees. So these are considered leaves. Pine tree leaves. And you can smell them. That smells different. So incorporate the senses. I wouldn't taste them, but I would definitely smell them. And this one actually has started seeding. It's a blade of grass that started seeding. And then this is a leaf from a different kind of palm. It's a little pokey on the end, but it won't hurt them. But you can teach about that. And kind of like a more of a fern type of plant. And then, oh, this one's cool. It has little leaves that have little pokies on them, but I mean, they don't hurt, but that's how the plant defends itself. You can talk about that. This one was a pretty big leaf. It kind of wilted in the process, but you can still bring it out. Another thing you can do after you collect the leaves is you can do what's called crayon rubbing. So this will be great. You put a piece of paper over it. So you can just take a piece of printer paper over it and do crayon rubbing. So you put it over there and you take a flat crayon. You may have to take the paper off. And you rub it and it will create the look of the leaf. And you can do that with different leaves. So I may do a presentation on that. Then you can look at this one. Some of them have a more thick feeling. Some of them are rough. Some of them are smooth. Some of them are pokey. And you can just go over all the different kinds of leaves and talk to them about how there's different plants all over the world. Just, you know, we can only see the ones here. I actually got this from one of my canis plants because it had bent and fallen over, so I thought it was going to die anyway, so I brought it in to show you guys. but it has amazing leaves. This is what you want your kids to be interacting with, is amazing leaves. So if you don't have a garden, if you're in an apartment or something, go to a plant store, a nursery, and go and look at the different leaves. And you can even tell them what you're trying to do. They may let you, cut a leaf here and a leaf there. Because how many people are getting their children out and touching and looking, and buy a plant, bring it home so they can watch it, put it in their room, and talk to them about how plants clean the air for us. We give it carbon dioxide and it gives us air for animals and people. So you really want to jazz them about plant life. It's amazing. Talk about herbs. Leaves from plants create herbs, so you can take them to your the herbs in your the seasonings in your kitchen, and talk about rosemary and thyme, or go to the grocery store and show them all the varieties that we get from plants that flavor our food, and how plants, go if there's a farm around you, go to the farm and, let them talk to your child about how they grow your food. You can go to strawberry farms or different farms and have your child actually participate in picking strawberries or picking corn, or helping to harvest food, so they can connect plants to our food. You can go to, kind of an RX pharmacy that shows how plants are medicine for us. So this botany is very important. You want to jazz your child and get excited and teach yourself in the process things that are healthy for you and your family, and how they clean the air. You want plants around your house, ivy plants and plants everywhere, because they actually clean the toxins from the air in your home. So even if it's a cheap ivy plant, it's filtering the air in your home, and so you breathe better. I hope that was helpful. So that's the study of leaves and how to tell the parts of the leaves. Create a booklet. It's easy. Print, a few pages, color the right parts, and then you will have your the 6 parts of the leaf. And then you can also, the next thing, I'll just go ahead and share, because we did the life cycle of a tree. So I had a presentation on the life cycle of a tree from a seed to the full tree. This is the picture that you would copy several times, and then talk about, you would write here root, or here you would write trunk, and you would just color that part of the tree, and you would have one for each part of the tree. So root, trunk, branch, leaf, and so on. And so you would just make your own booklet and talk about the tree. So there you have it. We're working through our top shelf and getting excited about plant life and teaching our children about nature. Please subscribe. I hope that was helpful.